Hey guys, so here I have already my parts already assembled or already made. So now I'm gonna assemble it together. And, I'm gonna put it together. So I'm gonna be scoring and slipping it together. So I'm gonna first start with these guys. So these are still actually what we call leather hard, so they're still workable. So they're stiffer than they were at the beginning. But they still have some flexibility to them. So I could, if I press hard enough, I could still squish them or potentially change them slightly, but they're not as soft as they used to be. So this is a good spot to score and slip it together, put it together. So I'm gonna start with these guys. So before I do that, I'm gonna first, see where this is gonna go, and I'm gonna just make a mark. And I'm gonna actually cut out a hole out of here. That way there's airflow. Okay, there's the hole. So now, that would create a flow. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use a little bit of water, and I'm gonna wet this slightly. And I'm also gonna wet this. I'm using my rib, my serrated rib. I'm gonna score it. I'm gonna score this part, and I'm also gonna score my top. There it is. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of water with my sponge, and then I'm gonna press these two parts together. Just gently press them together so they're actually stick. I'm gonna use a wood tool to blend. These two parts together. And then blend a little bit more using my fingers. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm gonna connect this one to my base. Okay, I'm gonna put it where it's gonna go. Then I'm gonna make some marks where I'm gonna cut. So I'm gonna cut out two holes. Again, I don't want to leave sort of like a bubble here. I want there to be airflow. So this is hollowed, as you guys remember. Just making these openings a little bit bigger. Again, taking a little bit of water with my sponge. Sorry. I'm gonna wet this a bit. And then using my rib, I'm gonna score it. Same thing with this guy. Wet and score it. Now I'm gonna connect them. push down onto the clay. Remember, the scoring is so that the two parts get attached. It's like creating Velcro. Just kind of also working my proportions, making sure things don't look crooked. Pushing down gently on the clay, so the two parts are connected. They're actually stuck together. Use my wood tool to blend. Okay, so see, these parts are already connected together. Now I'm not completely done yet, so I'm gonna reinforce the connections. At the moment these look a little bit sloppy. It doesn't look very clean, and the transition is not very smooth. Transition from this part to the bridge to the neck. It's not a very smooth transition, so I'm gonna reinforce it. Okay, so to reinforce my connections, I got some extra clay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and score on pretty much where I connected, the spout to the body. And then with this extra clay, I'm gonna make a coil. So I'm gonna roll it. I'm gonna roll a coil, and I'm gonna go ahead and wet this again. And then with this coil, I'm gonna go ahead and blend it on the attachment. Same thing on top of here. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same. And again, I am reinforcing that connection, making it really strong so it doesn't fall apart later on. I want the attachments to be on there really sturdy and not fall off. So that's the reason why we want to do this. So we're reinforcing it, at the same time we're making a smoother transition. Okay, so now that it's on there, just with my fingers I'm gonna smooth out that piece of clay. And again, it's just gonna make that transition look a lot better and look smoother. So just work it with your fingers. You could also use a wood tool. I prefer to start with my fingers first to get a feel for the clay, get a feel for that connection. My hands are like semi-moist. They're not dried. You can just work it out with your fingers. Okay, you can see now it's kind of looking a little bit better. Use the sponge. To smooth things out. Okay, so now I'm just cleaning it up with a sponge. Okay, so this is already connected. So I do want this to sort of like get evened out as far as the connection goes. Later on I'm gonna refine it a lot more, but then now you can see what my form is gonna look like once these connections sort of like get a little bit more leather hard. I could go over with the tool and scraper to scrape things out, make it look a little bit cleaner and smoother. So I do need to wait to do that later on. So I'm gonna put this away now. Later on I'll come back and further refine everything else to make it look real nice and clean. And then later on I'm gonna sculpt probably like something on here, kind of like for the examples, something that have like little animal sculptures, like on the lips or on the spouts on there. I'm gonna do the same, probably make something, and then once this dries, then I could start adding color later on. So this is already connected. Again, I'm gonna wait for it to get leather hard, and then I'm gonna refine it and just make it look a lot cleaner than this. Alright guys, we'll come back later to do that. Thanks.